Okay, we tee off for the fourth quarter by reliving a brilliant moment for the Dragon to end Chapter 3. Back to the live action here with the Ultra. We are 10 seconds into the fourth and final frame. The decisive frame in game number 3 of this championship showdown. Capaccio has it for the blue shirts. Guarded by Samboy Lim at low post. Jerry Codinera has to scramble and picks up a foul from Samboy, his third personal.
Foul.
We have some new faces on the floor. Joe, for Purefoods, Capaccio starting now, along with Jojo Lastimosa, Dino Pumaren, Jerry Codinera, Nelson Asaitono. For San Miguel Beer, there's Ives, Samboy, Alvin Teng replacing Ituri, Hector Calma, and Elmer Reyes.
That's the dramatis personae for the final quarter. Nelson Asaitono continues to run berserk.
Patrimonio and Fernandez sitting out the action. Nice move there. Good pass by Hector Calma. Wide open, Elmer Reyes inside.
Clean getaway by Elmer Reyes. Chops down the Purefoods lead to a solitary point at 81-80. Well, that's been the complexion of this ball game all along, except for the first period, which San Miguel dominated. From there on in, it's been played in spurts, and the whole thing had been a hairy roller coaster ride. As Glenn Capaccio comes through.
Yes.
Wow.
A difficult shot by Glenn Capaccio. He took that off balance. His feet were not squared up for the shot.
Bone-crunching pick set up by Samboy Lim for Hector Calma, who is deflected with contact in midair by Dindo Pumaren. Third personal for the human bullet.
Foul, Pumaren.
Hector Calma, the director. Don't worry, pretty soon we'll have nicknames for all these guys on the floor, including the refs.
Hector had 8 points in the first quarter of this game.
Lim.
Ato Agustin, a surprise package unloaded at this point by Norman Black to relieve Samboy Lim. 83-81. Well, whether that package will explode or will be a jack-in-the-box for Norman Black will be seen in the next few minutes.
Well, it looks like he feels comfortable with the speed combination. And I think that's the reason why you have Agustin now in the ball game to replace Samboy Lim. He likes what his speed combination has done for him.
And look at that. Maybe the Lupan is really matching up men. Al Solis is just checked in for Dindo Pumaren. 83-82. Very shaky 1-point lead here for the Hot Dogs. They need a basket in this offensive thrust. Glenn Capaccio wants a spread out offense. Solis in three-point country. Likewise, Jojo Lastimosa. Finally got the ball over to Jerry, and here's Jerry. Their bread and butter play. 85-82, back to a three-point advantage for the Hot Dogs. Calma is open.
Yes.
You know, defensive lapses on the part of the Hot Dogs are keeping the Beer men right in step with them.
And Hector Calma has been delivering the goods.
The guy definitely has taken charge.
Foul, Reyes.
Elmer Reyes with his third personal. Take a look at some third quarter stats.
Turnovers there. Purefoods had 4 in the third quarter as against only 1 for San Miguel Beer.
No significant disparity in the field goal percentages. Low post play again, this time on the other side of the court. The double team on Jerry Codinera. Oh, this time he took it from a farther range than normal. Hector Calma again burning the hardwood. He goes to Alvin, who gets bludgeoned by Nelson. Second personal for Babyface.
Foul, Asaitono.
Boy, what a baby this is. Normally they come 8 pounds or 9 pounds. This one is about 210 pounds, and he stands 6'5".
And that was a perfect dish-off pass there by Hector Calma.
And Alvin Teng is looking for a San Miguel advantage. It all hangs in the balance now in this second charity. Yes, sir. 86-85 is San Miguel back with the upper hand with 9:48 remaining. Well, the issue in this contest has not been decided by a long shot. Solis against Calma. Glenn Capaccio against the harassment of Otto Agustin. He tries to extricate, and Otto Agustin came in too close for comfort. First personal for Otto.
Agustin.
Somehow you get the feeling, Joe, that there's a lack of movement in the offensive patterns of Purefoods right now. A lot of the players are trying to force it one-on-one. Glenn Capascio, Nelson Asaitono, Jericho
Asaitono.
They're not moving as fluidly as in the first 3 quarters of this basketball game.
And there's a lot of loose ends in the way they manipulate their offensive thrusts right now.
On the other hand, San Miguel Beer's offense looks a little bit more
Solis.
fluid at this stage.
And Dino Pumarin has just checked in for Al Solis. In the meantime, we see Sonny Cabato sitting very forlorn on the bench. He wanted quality minutes, but he only got a quality minute this time because he had to hobble out after suffering a knockdown.
After he scored 4 quick points in the first period. Spin move here by Joji Lastimosa. They'll call a foul on Alvin Teng.
Boy, that's a gutsy move if I ever saw one.
Teng.
Imagine Lastimosa challenging a human bulwark like Alvin Teng. Let's look at this again and you'll get what I mean. Look at this guy.
Yes.
He not only brought the house down, he brought Alvin Teng down with him too.
You know, we were earlier commenting about how Purefoods looks a little bit disorganized in offense. The reason for that is because San Miguel Beer is playing a lot better defense now at this stage of the basketball game.
Oh, no question about that. That's why the Hot Dogs are forced into a lot of individualistic moves. 86 all was the best that Jojo Lastimosa could manage from that trip to the 15-foot line. 9:13 to play. Hector Calma inside the paint. Rudy Hines blowing his whistle with authority. It's addressed to Pumarin. That's only the 14th foul for San Miguel Beer and the 3rd personal for... I can't count your fingers, Mr. Marshall. You see, one of them is unduly short.
Hector Calma has been sinking the clutch baskets for San Miguel Beer.
2-point lead for the Beermen, 88-86, 8:56 to play. Team foul picture, 4 for San Miguel, 3 for the Hot Dogs. Otto Agustin is right back on top of Glenn Capascio. There's the low post play again. Jericho Dinero blocks the offensive rebound, tries again, and this time baits a foul from Alvin Teng again.
Foul, Agustin.
Not this time, it was Otto Agustin.
Sheer power on the part of Jericho Dinero that time. You see it here.
Teng.
Getting the rebound of his own miss.
Reyes.
Agustin hacking him on the arm before he could take off for the shot.
After a long, long spell on hold, El Presidente is back in town. That's right, Mon Fernandez just checked in for Alvin Teng. Kunichi Ituri is likewise back on the floor, so Norman Black is working with triple towers on the floor again. Ituri, Idignatice, and Mon Fernandez.
This is his cleanup combination.
Yeah, charged to do the mopping up operations. 88-87, 1-point lead for the Beermen. Hector Calma launching the San Miguel Beer offensive by raising 4 fingers. Dino Pumarin is sticking to him like a Siamese twin. Otto Agustin getting out of that jam with Glenn Capascio as Mon Fernandez has his first taste of the basketball upon his return and misses his first shot. Fast break in the works for the Hot Dogs. Glenn Capascio trying to wave Otto Agustin aside unsuccessfully. Loose ball foul.
On Dino Pumarin.
Foul, Pumarin.
A blown opportunity there for Purefoods.
You can say that again. And they need this timeout badly.
Timeout, Purefoods, Hot Dog.
Earlier I mentioned the live presence of a battalion of San Miguel executives here at the Ultra. Well, this is the battalion commander, Mr. Francisco Ismendi, president of the San Miguel Corporation.
And right behind him, the son of another San Miguel executive, Feli Veneracion.
Time down to 8 minutes and 5 seconds. 1-point lead for the Beermen. Jump shot by Otto Agustin. Bullseye! Okay, Otto Agustin is getting into the scoring act for San Miguel Beer, which certainly augurs ominously here for the Hot Dogs. Jojo Lastimosa, he hasn't gotten much relief for 3 quarters now. Look at him working one-on-one against Otto Agustin, and the whole thing blew up right in his face.
So Agustin has figured prominently in the last 2 plays. First he scored a jump shot, and now he forced Jojo Lastimosa into an error.
And San Miguel has a beautiful chance to improve on that 3-point lead, which they now enjoy with 7 minutes and 34 seconds remaining. The fall away by Ives Ignatice. He has gotten his sights back. 5-point lead for the Beermen, 92-87.
Momentum definitely on the side of San Miguel right now.
Well, earlier we mentioned how this ball game was being played in spurts. It's Purefoods' turn now to come up with a spurt of its own. If they can't, then that could mean disaster for them. Jerry rejected by El Presidente. Fast break in the works. Otto Agustin looking to outrun Glenn Capaccio. He consummates with a foul against Glenn.
Foul, Capaccio.
A big burst here by San Miguel Beer. Just when they needed.
You know, the defensive stance of Glenn Capaccio left a lot to be desired here. If he had figured on fouling Otto Agustin, he should have made sure that he didn't connect.
Exactly. That timeout, Agustin getting the 2 points and now has a chance for a 3-point play.
And that lead is slowly ballooning to very alarming proportions. 8-point advantage now for the Beermen, looking for win number 2 in 3 games in this championship series. 95-87 is the official tally. 5 team fouls apiece as we approach the halfway point of this final chapter.
Agustin has turned out to be the surprise ace up the sleeve of Roman Black.
Another unproductive thrust by the blue shirts. And here's Hector Calma directing operations in open court. Mon Fernandez, the shuffle goes right back to Hector. The director misses. Almost a held ball there in that battle for the loose leather between Mon Fernandez and Alvin Patrimonio, but the referees rule it in favor of the Hot Dogs. 95-87 is still the count. Still an 8-point deficit staring the Hot Dogs straight in the face. This is Jerry Codinera trying to maneuver against Tonichi Ituri.
And Agustin again drew the charging foul from Jose Lastimosa.
That's the second time he has baited Lastimosa into an offensive foul. Boy, he really must be getting into the nerves of Jonas as we glide into another timeout.
Purefoods hot dog.
Action continues to Brazil as we move to the last 6 minutes and 12 seconds of game number 3 in the championship showdown between Purefoods and San Miguel Beer. The Beermen enjoying an 8-point lead, have the ball in their territory. Mon Fernandez confronted by Jerry Codinera. Tonichi Ituri trying to escape the clutches of Alvin Patrimonio. Their shot clock down to just 3 seconds. The shot came just in time. And now it's a double-digit spread for the Beermen at 97-87. 5:47 to play. Jojo Lastimosa, very ably shackled in the last few minutes by Otto Agustin, finally gets off a shot.
That was a long silence broken finally by Jojo Lastimosa on the part of Purefoods.
97-89, still a very impressive 8-point lead for the Beermen as Mon Fernandez gives Pito Harencio his butt. The drive by Hector Calma is nullified by a foul.
Foul, Harencio.
Pito Harencio was the culprit with his 3rd personal. That was a good foul to give up. Nullified the basket there by Hector Calma, so they'll have to do it one more time around the block. Fernandez with a drive against Jerry. Yes, sir. The elegant one goes to work again.
2 straight baskets by Ramon Fernandez.
99-89, double figure spread again. Jojo Lastimosa, his 2nd in a row. This time he seems to have developed an antidote for the defense of Otto Agustin. And there's a full court press now by the Hot Dogs.
Ramon Fernandez is bringing the ball up court once more. They're looking to Ives Ignadice, play low post.
They had the right thing in mind, but Ives was not so accurate. At breakneck speed, Pito Harencio comes through with a layup. Well, make that an off-the-glass attempt. 99-93, just a 6-point lead now for the Beermen. No question about it now. The Hot Dogs are in the midst of mounting their own counter rally. But that foul by Jerry Codinera could spell disaster for them. That's already his 5th personal. And they're also in penalty, opening up 2 free throw opportunities for Mon Fernandez, but not before this time.
Timeout, San Miguel Beer.
Back to the live action here with the Ultra. It's now a 7-point lead for the San Miguel Beermen. 100-93 with 4 minutes and 35 seconds to go. One guy I know who's got his eyes glued to his TV set right now is the fine sportsman and the country's #1 haberdasher, Rosman Lapat, whose shop, R.M. Lapat, is celebrating its 38th anniversary. Wow, that's a long time to be in the tailoring business. 101-93 is the count. Okay, low post play. Capaccio from 3-point country. Calma had a piece of that leather, forcing the miss. Score one change, still an 8-point advantage for San Miguel Beer. Take a look at key players in dire foul trouble. Fernandez hits Ives. who misses this time, and Alvin Patrimonio gets the ball from behind Otto Agustin. He keeps on going. Jerry Codinera is gone.
He'll have a three-point play opportunity. Big break here for Purefoods. They needed that one badly.
Watch that again in slow-mo.
Chance to bring the lead down to 5.
Dignatise.
Alvin Teng is checking in for Yves Dignatise. Well, Norman Black has done a masterful job of husbanding his very deep bench. Fresh legs in there too. Now in the person of Alvin Teng as Jerry connects, and it's 101 to 96. Just a 5-point advantage now for the Beermen. Solis hounding Hector Calma. He makes his move, runs into heavy traffic. Alvin Teng comes through with a semi-hook.
A beautiful assist pass by Hector Calma. He knew exactly where he wanted to have the ball go.
Alvin regains his bearings, puts it up and misses. Battle for the loose ball, won by Otto Agustin. And now it's the Beermen's fans' turn to roar with delight. And there's Baby Dalupan along with Ding Panganiban. Grimness sketched all over their faces. With time down to 3:17, they're looking at a 7-point deficit. Make that a 9-point deficit. As Juan Fernandez runs amok. Fine slow-mo replay being provided you by guys from the OB van, especially Mr. Chris Feria, who wants us to say happy wedding anniversary to Willie and Joy De Vera.
3-point play completed here by Ramon Fernandez.
106 to 96, 10-point lead for San Miguel. 3 minutes to play. Game number 3 in the championship series. Solis fires on a screen by Lastimosa. Way offline. Scramble for the loose ball, won by Jerry. Jojo against Hector, inside the paint. Yes, sir.
Sailing in for 2 points. A meek reply here by Purefoods. Definitely in battle.
106 to 98 with time down to 2 minutes and 43 seconds. And now it's San Miguel's Beer's turn to slow down the pace and the tempo. They have the luxury of an 8-point lead. Agustin. Oh, he was a big spark plug here upon his introduction to the ball game by Norman Black. The turnaround. Tunichi Ituri is right there.
A big offensive rebound by Tunichi Ituri.
The shot will count. Jojo Lastimosa turning in 2 points to stem the avalanche of points being turned in by the Beermen on their side of the floor.
Hot Dogs not giving up. See that here in your slow-mo replay.
Agustin.
And this guy, Agustin, who is about to be relieved, is getting a big hand from very appreciative San Miguel Beer fans as he makes way for the return of Elmer Reyes. Lastimosa, 20 points to his name, make that 21. And just a 7-point lead for San Miguel Beer. Well, the Beermen, to be sure, don't have this ball game wrapped up yet. Juan Fernandez isolated on the right side of the court against Jerry Codinera.
Inching his way in, and they'll call another foul. Penalty situation. Codinera is out of the ball game with
Foul
6 personals.
Codinera.
Now that loss can
Codinera,
be very
6
devastating.
fouls.
Remember how the Hot Dogs lost with Jerry Codinera fouling out in game number 2 with only a few minutes to go. That's the same picture unfolding right now. And it would appear like the same scenario is likewise being played out as in game number 2. Take a look at this foul. Where did the foul occur?
Previous to the takeoff for the shot.
Well, there was also a foul there for good measure by Al Solis. We're seeing, yes.
Alvin Patrimonio has been limited to only 10 points in this ball game. He has not scored a single point in the 4th period.
On the other hand, Jerry Codinera left the ball game with 24 big markers and 7 rebounds. You can throw in 1 shot block too. Back to a 9-point lead for San Miguel, 110 to 101.
Last 2 minutes. Last 2 minutes.
We're crossing the twilight zone. Brought to you by Club Valentino Rum. Nagkakaintindihan tayo sa Club Valentino. Upward shot by Pito Harencio. Oh, they can't afford bloopers like that.
And San Miguel Beer just now content to run out the clock. Time is on its side.
Big advantage to the team that comes out with a victory in game number 3. Big psychological advantage preparing for game number 4 on Tuesday. And Nelson Azaitono had no other option left but to foul Fernandez.
Fernandez will go back to the stripe. He has done a lot of damage for San Miguel Beer in the 4th period. But the man who has orchestrated this big comeback of San Miguel Beer, Hector Calma, still in the game.
Well, this time the little guys got into the picture too. And probably the most important role in what seems like a San Miguel victory in the horizon here has been Hector Calma. Well, our Jollibee best player will be named right after this match. We glide into a ceasefire.
Purefoods hot dog.
As he zoomed right back to the action, we only have 1 minute and 24 to go. Nelson Azaitono picking up the garbage, turning it into goal. He's in for a 3-point opportunity. 112 to 103. All is not yet lost for the Hot Dogs. And that was the 5th personal for Tonichi Iturri. You know, if this ball game is going to go the same route as game number 2, it would be victory number 2 for the San Miguel Beermen, but it would stand out in stark contrast to game number 2, which the Beermen dominated practically 95% of the way. And we shall return after this timeout. Only 1 minute and 19 to play. Backcourt pressure by Alvin Patrimonio results in a foul. Well, they were forced to give up a quick foul to freeze the clock. Now it stands at 1 minute and 17 seconds. Still an 8-point lead going for San Miguel. Okay, I was beginning to say, just before that last time I was called, Mr. Henson, that in contrast to game number 2, which San Miguel dominated about 95% of the way, here the Hot Dogs were clearly in control for about 60% of the way. So they had the sweet smell of success right within sniffing distance. What happened to them?
That's right. The victory was actually within its grasp. Actually, San Miguel Beer had a big jump early on, and then Purefoods came right back. They had the Hot Dogs had a 1-point lead at the start of the 3rd period, and then Purefoods had a big lead, going over twin digits, and then San Miguel Beer came back playing very good defense. I think the Beermen really knew how to attack its game. When Norman Black sent in its speed combination, that really shellacked the Purefoods Hot Dogs. At that point in the game, the Hot Dogs were controlling the boards, and they were using their power inside the lane to be able to dominate. But when Norman Black sent in his speed combination, that sort of changed the complexion of the game, and San Miguel Beer started to go on full throttle once again. The running game got going in high gear, and San Miguel Beer just took it from there.
So you would consider that as the turning point of this basketball game, with a special highlight this time on the little guys.
I thought so too. I thought so, Joe. Really, because of the orchestration also of Hector Calma. He had Elmer Reyes there. He had Ato Agustin. And then he had Sam Boylim. He gave in quality minutes. And this big surge of San Miguel Beer, of course, came when Ramon Fernandez was sitting on the bench. And despite that fact, San Miguel Beer was able to extricate itself from a very dangerous position because the Hot Dogs actually were already leading at that stage of the ball game. Norman Black made a terrific offensive adjustment in sending in a speed combination, and that changed the complexion of the game 360 degrees.
Well, if you ask me, I'd say that the handwriting on the wall for Purefoods came very early in the 1st quarter when Sonny Capatu hobbled out of the ball game on account of a limp, and we shall return right after this. 59 seconds to go. Very comfortable 12-point lead for San Miguel, who seem to be well on their way to cruising to victory number 2 in 3 games in this championship series with the Hot Dogs. Lastimosa. And the ball is knocked away by Elmer Reyes. Hardly any movement in the clock there. Just 1 second elapsed. 58 seconds to go.
The other determining factor in this ball game, Joe, was the limited offense of Alvin Patrimonio. Held down to only 10 points in this ball game. And he had been going
From
great guns in
Reyes.
this series so far.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Henson. There was a big slack there in the production of Alvin Patrimonio.
Considering that he's been averaging 29 points in this series.
So they're missing 19 points. Well, make that 18 because he turned in another point for Purefoods just now. 116 to 109. Hey, what about this? He doesn't look like a very happy hot dog.
Alvin Patrimonio just 1 out of 2. Playing a little bit off form in this ball game.
You know, we're giving a lot of credit to the little guys for orchestrating what seems to be San Miguel's imminent victory in game number 3. But let's not forget that it's also the combination of the triple towers all the time on the floor. Therefore, Norman Black, that sort of kept their heads above water.
That's right.
Patrimonio,
Actually,
6
Norman
foul.
Black really masterfully orchestrated this game plan. And he was always one step ahead of Coach Baby Dalupan in this game 3.
Well, the exile of Alvin Patrimonio might have been the final nail on the coffin here for the Hot Dogs as Punky Alalor checks in. He didn't come up with a quality game tonight for the Hot Dogs. Thereby lies another vacuum. I'm referring to Punky and, of course, to Alvin. 117 to 105.
You know, Tonichi also logged a lot of quality minutes for San Miguel Beer. Of course, his defense, his bone-crunching picks, and those 2 free throws.
Of course, they didn't get too much mileage out of him in the points department because the Hot Dogs had his number. You know, you can only spring a surprise
From Reyes.
of that nature only once. And
Ituri.
Agustin checks right back to the ball game to relieve Tonichi Ituri. And listen to that big round of applause from the San Miguel Beer fans.
I also thought, Joe, that in the 4th period, the Purefoods offense started to sputter. They didn't show the kind of fluidity that the Hot Dogs earlier showed. You notice in the first half and in midway, the 3rd period, the Hot Dogs were running very smoothly. They were playing their patterns very deliberately. They were very patient in getting the high percentage shot. They had put in a lot of three-point shots to loosen up the inside defense of San Miguel Beer. They were doing a lot of things right. Baby Dalupan was always having fresh legs on the court, but somehow all of that went for naught when Norman Black always had a combination on the floor to match up better than Baby Dalupan's combination.
Well, looking at it from another viewpoint, Mr. Henson, probably the lack of a floor leader for the Hot Dogs also spelled disaster for them in their cause tonight.
Exactly. You know, when the offense starts to break down, when there's poor coordination in the fluidity, you know that the orchestrator is not doing his job. And I think that's what happened to Purefoods. There was a lot of one-on-one movement, particularly by Jojo Lastimosa. And somehow that didn't work out well in the end game, particularly as San Miguel Beer was playing so fluid an offense with Hector Calma, the man with the basketball, orchestrating.
Well, we're dropping you hints as to who is going to receive our Jollibee Best Player Plum. If you still can't get the hint, then heaven help you.
And Hector Calma at the line.
Oh, well, he was bound to falter somewhere. He was playing a near perfect game tonight.
He had 6 points in the first period, in the 4th period, sorry. Missing his last 2 free throws. That doesn't speak too well of the kind of game that he's played. But San Miguel Beer still retaining possession.
Well, we can set our sights now on game number 4, which is set for Tuesday, Mr. Henson. What are the prospects here, and what does Baby Dalupan have to do by way of adjustment?
I think what he has to do is to solve the formula that Coach Norman Black showed here in this game. He's got a speed combination, and Norman and Baby Dalupan must be able to put or set up an antidote to stop San Miguel Beer from running at full throttle. He's got to stop that running game of San Miguel Beer.
Well, of course, we will have an identical schedule for Tuesday as what we had today. Añejo versus Shell in the first game, which is now a 2-1 affair. Añejo enjoying the lead. And, of course, the championship match between San Miguel Beer and Purefoods, which will be 2-1 when they get off the blocks on Tuesday. And collaborating on that coverage will be Mr. Seth Samenta and Dr. Randrew J. 12 seconds to go.
Again, look at the kind of defense that San Miguel Beer has played, limiting Purefoods to only 109 points. And we said earlier in the series that for Purefoods to win a game in this best-of-7 affair, they've got to score at least 120 points. because that's what the offense of Purefoods is used to scoring.
Well, they got off to a great start in game number 1. Where they scored 120 points, did they?
Exactly, 120 points to the dot.
Well, it's all over now, but the final winning edge of San Miguel Beer, 7 ticks to go. And the agony for Purefoods will finally be over. Nelson Asaitono aiming from three-point country. He doesn't have that in his bag of tricks. And time finally runs out on game number 3. The victors, clearly, the San Miguel Beermen, they now have a 2-1 edge in preparation for game.